welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jules and I'm chronicling our family of three's journey to financial freedom. Here on the channel we talk about all things budgeting, planning, paying off debt, planning for the future, all the things. So if that's something that you're interested in, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. You guys, I am so excited for this video. I invested in myself and in the longevity of this channel, and I got an external mic. So please let me know in the comments how it sounds. It sounded okay when I was editing it. I do need to figure out how to isolate the sound better. I'm not used to talking into the microphone. I'm used to just talking into my MacBook speaker, but obviously that's not the best for sound quality long term. So yeah, definitely let me know in the comments how it sounds to you. Right in. So what I wanted to do today is to go through our September budget. I had actually filmed and recorded a whole YNAB reset video where I took my husband's most recent paycheck and budgeted it out live on YNAB. However, it was a bit of a train wreck because I'm not used to budgeting live. I typically do recap videos where I will show you everything that I put towards each category, and I will do a spending breakdown once everything is kind of set in stone, and that is what I'm more comfortable with. So there were a lot of things that I forgot, and just generally it was kind of a bit of a hot mess, and I didn't feel like it was good enough to post. So instead, what I'm going to do is just do a recap video showing you our September budget overview instead. I know we are still solidly in the month of August, but since we are a month ahead on our bills currently, everything is already fully funded for September. So I wanted to go through some changes that we're making. If you saw my most recent debt update video, you will know that we are still going to go after the credit card debt first, but once the credit card debt is paid off, hopefully by the end of this year, we are claiming it. We're going to be turning our attention, instead of turning our attention to the car like we had previously thought, we're actually going to be turning our attention to the student loans, the mountain of student loans that we have, because the interest rates are absolutely killer on those, and at this point we're making good headway on our car payment. So I will link that video down below or up at the top of the screen here somewhere, so that if you're interested in that, you can go watch that video as well. But let's go ahead and get into the September budget. So starting with our bills category, we have, again, everything is fully funded already, so we're just going to kind of go through our bills. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know that our bills are pretty much set in stone. You know, it's mostly needs in the bills category, and even in the subscriptions, we try to keep things pretty minimal around here. But we've got our $200 for rent here. Preschool is going to start coming out in September, so this is a new bill that we are adding to our budget as a line item every month, and that will be $97.50. The first half of our USAA bill comes out also for $64.29. TRICARE, this is our health insurance, $274.48. Discover. So if you also missed our debt update video, the big thing that we did with this is we actually did a balance transfer. There was about $360 left on our Chase card. We transferred that to the Discover credit card at a 4.99% interest rate for the next 15 months to give us more time to pay on that and not accrue interest. The Chase credit card was actually still at a 28% interest rate with a minimum payment of $88 because there was a My Chase plan attached to it. So doing the balance transfer, one, eliminates that crazy high minimum payment, and also just gives us a clean slate to go ahead and close the Chase credit card and be done with it. So the minimum payment on the Discover for September 7th is actually only $69. So we've planned to pay that, and then we've also allotted some extra funds. This is because my husband got paid more for his annual training in the month of August, so we had more money to play around with. So we are going to, currently we are budgeting to pay $250 towards that Discover. Hopefully it'll be more by the end of the month, but right now we have allocated our funds in a way that we can pay $250 on this day, so that's fantastic. And then we have our minimum payment on the car, $314.35, second half of the $64.29 for the USAA. And then, so this Chase credit card, again, we did a balance transfer for this, and I paid the 92 cents. It has already cleared the account. The card is at a 0 balance. Yay! Cue the confetti. I'm not going to say we paid it off because we didn't really. We just rolled it onto another card, but the account is at a 0 balance, which is great. And then after August is over, I'm just going to hide this account so that it doesn't continue to populate past this, because obviously we won't be using that account anymore. Moving on, we've got our dental insurance, comes out for $86.47. Our Mint Mobile renewed in the month of August. This was another thing that was in that previous budgeting video that I'm not going to end up posting, but we undershot our savings goal for the Mint Mobile. So I only saved enough for the plan itself, which was $270. That is 12 months of the 5 gigabit plan for both my husband and I. I only saved $270. I did not save for taxes or fees or anything like that. So we ended up having to cover that overspending with our ready to assign money. And I have upped this goal for next year to $315 just to cover that. I believe the full amount of the renewal was $308. So we're setting aside $315 for next August. So that evens out. Let's see, what does it even out to? Yeah, somewhere in like the $25 to $26 a month range. So we're starting that this month. And then we have something in the student loan column. Woohoo! I am not going to set a target for this because, again, this is not our priority, but we do want to send something over there because seeing that daily interest accrue just makes me want to cry. So we're going to send $100 over there until it's their turn. Next, we are getting into needs. We have $200 in our gas category. We're going to try $200 and see how it goes. We are bumping up against our $225 budget for August, especially now that my husband is back in school and has a 30-minute commute to school and back. I don't know how this is going to go, but we're going to try it. I might end up having to bump this up to $250. We'll have to see. Our usual $175 for groceries. This is our weekly groceries. Like when we go to the grocery store, we try to keep it around like $40-ish a week, somewhere in there. And then we have our Costco fund. So currently we don't have anything set aside for September. That is because this week we're going to Costco to do our massive Costco coughing fit there. I'm not really sure what that was about, but anyway, Costco fund. We are set to go to Costco with a budget of $500 this week. So I'm not sure. Typically we don't spend $500 a month at Costco. It's sort of a rolling $500. When we need to restock our freezer, which we do currently, we haven't been to Costco in quite a hot minute. It's been at least 6 weeks. And we buy pretty much all of our chicken, our beef, we try to get eggs at Costco, anything that we would store in the freezer, or a lot of the raw ingredients that we use to make things from scratch at home, we buy at Costco, and right now we're pretty low on a lot of that. So we have a budget of $500, and also at Costco we get a lot of our household items. So like my husband needs 2 bags of protein powder, which is going to be a huge chunk of that $500 budget. My son is starting preschool in September, so we need to make sure that we have plenty of snacks, and he loves to all of his favorite snacks have nuts in them. Like he loves peanut butter bread and crackers and things like that. So we're going to have to figure out some alternate arrangements that are nut free because his preschool is nut free. But anyway, long story short, with the Costco budget, we haven't set anything aside for September because it's going to depend on how much we need at Costco in September. I don't anticipate us needing to spend another full $500 at Costco in September. I hope that kind of makes sense. We typically we'll do a big haul at Costco with a budget of $500, see where we land, see what the freezer is looking like, and then we will make a determination about how much we want to set aside for Costco. But typically we have like one really expensive grocery month where we get everything that we need, and then the next month is typically a little bit cheaper. So anyway, that's how we do Costco. Household and toiletries is getting its usual $50. This covers things like deodorant, my skincare, things like that as they kind of pop up. Haircuts, we're budgeting $23. My husband does have drill in September. I was trying to remember. He does have drill in September, so he will need to get a haircut. He really only gets a haircut before he goes on his military training because he has to have a haircut. So $23 for that. And then we're setting aside another $50 for the drill fund. After this last drill, I'm thinking we might up the sinking fund to $100 just so we have money sitting in there pretty consistently. My husband he maxed out this $50 this last drill period because he was there for a lot longer than usual. So we're gonna see about maybe upping this to $100. It's better to have more money in that sinking fund and not need it than not have enough. So we're still determining how much we actually want to keep in that account. But next up, we've got babysitting and childcare. We are not currently budgeting anything for this in September. We don't, as of right now, there is nothing on the calendar that would require babysitting or childcare, so we're just going to kind of leave it there. And then our oh crap fund, so this is pretty much anything that we forget about, anything unbudgeted that pops up. We have, we try to add $100 to this every month, so we did that. Next up, we have our subscriptions. So this is the same as last month. We've got our 2 iClouds for 99 cents and $2.99, and then the gym for $15. My husband's YouTube Premium for $8.59, and then our Spotify Duo for $18.26. Nothing new to report there. Everything is coming out exactly as what it's supposed to be, and we haven't added anything new. Annual expenses, taxes, we don't have anything sitting in there right now because I haven't made enough on any sort of side hustle to have to set aside money for taxes. Everything is on track with our sinking fund. So just really quick, we've got our Corolla tags. So these are for my car tags, $25. Stormy is our cat. She has an annual visit once a year, and that will be in March. And we'd like to set aside about $150 to cover that vet fee. Costco membership. Our Costco membership renews at the end of March, and it was suggested to me in a previous video. I actually don't know if that comment's available anymore. I think they might have taken it down, but someone had said that because we spend pretty much, every time we go to Costco, it's somewhere in like the $300 to $500 range pretty consistently every time we go to Costco. And someone had pointed out that we meet the spend threshold at Costco to where it's actually more beneficial for us to have the higher level membership. And we crunched the numbers, and I do think that we're actually going to go up to the executive level membership. It's just about when we are going to decide to do that. I don't know if we're going to do that this week and then just take it out of the oh crap fund because it's not something that we budgeted for. So we can start earning our cash back. But someone did point out that because we do spend, Costco makes up the bulk of our grocery budget because we get the same things, and it's just easier because we cook from scratch so much and we cook at home and we don't really eat out much. It's more beneficial for us to buy in bulk at Costco. So they pointed out that it's like if you spend more than $30 to $100 at Costco in a year, that's typically where it's more cost effective to have the higher level membership. So this might be increasing in the next month or two. We're still kind of going back and forth about whether or not we want to go ahead and upgrade to the executive level membership, or if we don't. I think mathematically it makes more sense if we do, but we haven't pulled the trigger on that yet. And then YNAB. YNAB is this budgeting software. Currently my husband has a year free because he's a student, and then we are we're setting aside money to pay for an annual subscription when it expires next July because we do really like using it. So there's that. And then NordVPN, this is our VPN. It renews in October, and it should be somewhere in the $75 range for the renewal. This is for this covers all of our devices for both my husband and I. So that's coming up. And then Proton Mail, this is my email server, and it's $47.88 a year. So that renews at the end of November. So we're setting aside money for that in a sinking fund. And then AAA membership. So we have a AAA membership. We got it for $34 for this upcoming year because we got a really good deal on it. I still have not called them to figure out how much the renewal is going to be for next summer. It will expire in July of 2026, and we need to start setting aside money to pay for it when it's full price. And I need to call them and figure out what our renewal is going to be, and I haven't done that yet. So it's on my to-do list, but we haven't set aside anything yet because, again, I don't know how much it's going to be. So that's all for our annual expenses. Now getting into sinking funds, reimbursements and church holding. We do sometimes swipe our personal debit cards for church expenses, and then those are reimbursed to us via check from the church, normally within a week or two. There's nothing in there right now. It's normally just a holding category. And then anything that we buy for the church, I just put there as a line item in the budget, and then that's money that comes back to us basically. But I wanted to have a separate category because I don't want to take it out of our general grocery budget because that's going to throw our numbers off at the end of the year. Kiddo clothing and needs, we did put $15 in it this month because he is going to preschool. We wanted to have some money set aside just in case he needs more clothes. As of right now, he has his full wardrobe. I think the only thing we don't have set aside for him yet is a new pair of sneakers, but I go to work this weekend and I'm hoping that someone brings in a pair of sneakers that will fit him and I can just put it in my bin. If you don't know, I just got a part-time job at a local kids consignment store, and all of us have a bin along the bottom of the back rack where when consigners bring things in, we can basically have first dibs. So I'm kind of hoping someone will bring some in this weekend that I can nab before they even hit the sales floor. So that's a perk of working at a kids clothing store if I've ever seen one. And then the Marine Corps Ball. So this one is changing. Originally, we set a goal of setting aside $350. We just got the invitation, the formal invitation for the ball, and the tickets are $70 a person. So we're going to have to pay $140 just for the tickets. So we're going to need to start setting aside more money for this weekend that we take together. Because we still have to book the hotel for 2 nights, and we're going to need some grocery money while we're there. And we normally try to eat out once while we're there, but even that we can buy a hotel, like things to make in the hotel with the microwave and the fridge and stuff like that. I'm not too worried about that part, but we do want to have drinks the night of and we generally want to enjoy our time. That is the one trip that we take. My husband has to go and it's really fun for me to go. It really is the one weekend away that we get a year. It's something that we both really enjoy, and obviously my husband does get paid to go to work that weekend because he is still showing up for Marine Corps stuff. So he does get paid, and we will get paid reimbursement for it, but we do have to kind of front load those costs. And obviously we're trying to keep our costs as low as possible and just be mindful of what we're spending. So normally I think the goal is only, I don't even remember what we spent last month. I think 50 something dollars or 70 maybe. I'm not sure. But anyway, long story short, we are going to start saving more money in this category so that we can go ahead and get this funded and set aside so that when it does come time to purchase the tickets and book the hotel and all the things, we already have money set aside and we don't have to stress about it. Date night, 881. I'm trying to remember why I put money in this account. Probably honestly because we had some extra money and I just tossed it in this account. Date night, we don't typically do too much date night wise. Like this $429 that we spent was because we rented a movie and we just had a night in together and it was really nice. Anything that we have in date night that we save for, we'll probably use the weekend of the Marine Corps Ball. To be honest, that's normally how that goes. Car maintenance. Car maintenance was completely drained last month, and we are starting over with $50 on track for that. Hopefully my car doesn't have to go to the shop until January of next year, but we're not holding out hope for that. So we'll see what happens there, because I feel like I didn't do a good job of explaining it. Or not the car payment, I'm sorry, the car maintenance fund. I do drive a Toyota Corolla, so it's not like it's breaking down every 2 seconds. It's a very reliable vehicle, but we live in a very rural area and we put a lot of miles on the car, so I try to take it in pretty consistently every 5,000 miles to get its 5,000 mile service and just stay on top of it so that it will last a really long time. So when I say that we're not holding out hope for it to not have to go back for service before January, it's more, there's a very good chance that we will rapidly put another 5,000 miles on the car just because we drive a lot. So just as a sidebar to that. But next up, we've got our medical expenses. So currently we have $123.70 sitting in this account. We are budgeting another $25 towards that sinking fund. I am still waiting for a dental bill for me when I went to get my 6 month, we go every 6 months to get cleanings. I went in July and I'm still waiting for that bill to come in. So we will have that expense at some point, and then it's just good to have this, just good to have money set aside for medical expenses. So that is that. My goodness, I'm filming this at night. Normally I try to film during the day, but it's just how the dominoes fell tonight that I'm filming at night, and I'm clearly feeling it. It's only 8:40, but I'm clearly not all here tonight, but we're still gonna get it uploaded and posted because you know what? I am dedicated to this YouTube thing, so we're going to keep trucking. Stormy Revolution Plus, this is the flea and tick preventative measure for our cat, so it's getting its usual 2214, and we will need to buy it again at the end of January. We buy it every 6 months. Christmas and kiddo's birthday, this is on track. We are setting aside $150 for birthday and Christmas gifts. We are on track for that. And then insurance, this is an insurance that we pay for every 2 years. So we will need to set aside about $500 before July of 2027. So it's about $20 a month setting aside in that sinking fund. Next up, we have biz expenses. This is for, I'm a self-published author. And this is just a line item if I need to throw any of our personal money to cover business expenses, as I am still operating under startup company rules. So I'm not currently seeing a profit on any of this, which is why you don't see it in any sort of income or ready to assign money, because everything that I earn from my book sales goes right back into investing in cover art and editing and all the things for the next book. And then when it comes to wants, we've got both mine and my husband's spending money. We each get $30 a month, and everyone's getting their usual $30. Nothing new to report there. Long-term planning, we are the only things long-term that we are actively saving for right now is our license renewals. Hubby's license renews in January and mine renews in May. And we budget, what's the goal on these? Let's see. The goal is 60, which should cover all of the fees. We will be able to renew online this year, so we can avoid the North Carolina DMV, which, if you know, you know. That's a win in my book. But that is everything that we've got going on for our YNAB budget in September. Looking ahead to October, we don't have anything currently in assigned in October. Anything extra that we get in September. Once September actually rolls around, we will start funding October, but any extra income that we see in the month of August, we are just going to throw towards debt, because we are doing pretty well right now with maintaining our month ahead schedule. Once we get those pretty consistent windfalls from my husband's military paychecks, as well as his VA disability at the end of the month. So everything is going good in terms of income. I think I was really stressed out when we have to kind of float expenses from one pay period to the other, but the money always comes. There's just sometimes a little bit of a delay and we have to get creative. But that is going to be our September budget overview. I feel really good about where we're at. I feel good about the fact that we're throwing a ton of extra money towards the Discover card while also still funding all of our sinking funds, all of our goals, so that we are not going any further into credit card debt. I feel really good about where we're at right now. So if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give a like, leave a comment if, I mean, anything really. I love talking to you guys in the comments. I love hearing about what you're working on, what's going on in your family's lives, anything that you're struggling with. If there is something that we can pray with you for, please leave that in the comments as well. We are really building a community over here, and I'm so happy that you're a part of it. So be sure to hit the subscribe button before you head out to your next video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!